In this video, we're going to go through activities 2.13A and B for civil in the PLTW, and we're going to be creating this utility shed. So to do that, we're going to open up Revit 2022 or whatever Revit version we have on our. When we get started, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you start with the architectural template. And we're simply going to hit New Template and hit OK. So as this opens up, we're going to notice some things up here on the top. We have this ribbon up on top that's going to allow us to draw using the architecture template. And then over here we have the properties and project browser. And first thing that we notice is that when we select wall, we're going to be able to start drawing some basic walls. But I'm going over our residential construction. If you look when we select wall, notice when I hit wall, it opens up this properties toolbar right here. Right now it's a basic wall that is generic at 8 inches thick. All right, that's the first thing that we need to address, because our wall is not just a generic 8-inch. We have different things that the wall is made out of. And so if we think back to our lesson, walls, we had layers that are studs on the inside. We'd have some sheathing, and then we'd have the wall finish. All right, so to create that, what we're going to do is we're going to come. We need to duplicate this wall. We're going to come in here to the structure, and a couple things. The first layer we're going to make is the structure layer. This is holding up the place the material. To do that, we click on these little 3 dots, and let's see what we got in here. Wood lumber for our material, and since it is 2x6, we know that 2x6 are actually 5.5 inches thick. Created that layer. Now we're going to insert another layer. This one needs to go outside this core boundary. All right, this is the structure. This next layer is going to be that plywood as a substrate layer. And material, we search plywood. Sheathing, we're going to add OSB plywood sheathing on this. Then one more layer above the finished layer. Siding, and nothing unfortunately comes up. Well, in Revit, there's a lot of different materials to choose from that are built in the software and the ones that you can also download off the internet. And to do that, you need to because if they had every material in there, it would just bog down the file too much. So we're going to come down here to the little circle plus, create new material. It just gave us this default new material. First thing we're going to do, let's under appearance, because when we make renderings of this, we want the siding to come up. We're going to come here to these 2 little squares, replace asset, and we're going to again search for siding. Now we should get a decent amount of choices. 2 here, but if we come down to this next one, we have all sorts of different sidings that come up. So depending on what you would like to choose for yours, it really doesn't matter for this as long as we choose. So I'm just going to do some horizontal. Apply. Okay. And our siding layer is also going to be 0.5 inches. Okay, so now we are ready to draw. And if you look at the plans for our house, we have a 12 by 16 as the shed. So a couple ways we could do that. When we activate the wall tool and we're drawing, you're going to see this modify ribbon open up. If you don't, you just saw I clicked, All right, see how it's green? I'm in a command. When I'm green up here, I'm in something. So right now I'm drawing with simply straight lines. Angles, polygon tool, a circle, an arc. Right? I could pick walls, I could pick faces. All right, but for now, we are simply just going to draw with the line tool. And the frustrating thing with Revit is when I draw, I can't just draw because I need to be mindful of what is set over here. Right now, when I draw this, if you look at the dimensions of this, they kind of show it, but not that great. The dimensions come from the outer parts of the wall, and we have different ways that our lines will be drawn from. Right now, they're from the center line. When we're drawing exterior walls, we're going to have them come from our core face exterior. Since this is the United States of America, we drive clockwise, we're going to draw clockwise too. I'm just going to start up I'm in these houses. I'm starting right up here. I click. I'm going to draw. I just type. I don't need to click anything. When I type, it goes right onto my screen. I hit 12, 16, 12. Draw that right? I did not. It's 16, 12 the other way. So let's do this a teachable moment. Let's just click and hit delete. Face exterior. And I'm going to go 16, 12. Very important to see a couple things. One, where are all those layers I created? All right, I click on the wall, you see all these fancy layers. I don't see anything. If you come up here, first thing we're going to do is make it so these lines aren't so thick and offensive. When I come down here to my detail level, I change it to fine, and I zoom in, you can now see these layers. Again, look at, if I toggle this line thickness, I cannot see those layers. So we're going to dimension this to make sure we did it right. And so align dimension, and we're going to pick wall faces. And now, oh my God, align faces of core, Mr. Tosh. Jeez. Let's try that. 12. Now, what happened if the dimensions were incorrect? Because let's say you made a mistake. You made it was 16.2, 16.4. All right, you didn't follow the directions when you were creating the right location line. So anytime we want to edit a dimension, we don't double click on this dimension. That is a no-no. All right, I shouldn't have even shown this. You got to click on what you want to move. So if this direction is 16.4 and it needs to be 16, what I need to do is either move this wall or this wall would satisfy that. So I click it, the dimension becomes blue and small. All right, we could then click on the dimension and change it to 16 to make it correct. Now the other thing, if we wanted to look at our shed 3D, we come up to our house. We could click and hold this and spin it around. All right, we could see our different views. And I kind of notice it looks like an elevator shaft. Very tall. So how tall did we make it? We didn't really pay attention to that. What were we doing? So let's go back to, or not, let's go back. Let's go to one of our elevations. Our elevations are looking at the sides of the house from the east view. Let's talk about that. So I go level 1, I zoom out. Our elevations we have. All right, so if I click on the east elevation, never eat slimy worms. So east would be looking at the building from here. So I click. And now I see that I didn't set up anything for where my walls are going to. And I have these levels 1 and level 2. So what the heck is that? So let's go to our plans. We see that these levels are set up and they're named floor and roof, and they're set to 8 feet, and our walls are 8 feet tall. So we need to fix something. What were we thinking? So if we come over here to level 1 and I click on it twice, I'm going to call it, what did they call this in the plan? I've already forgotten. We call it floor. We'll call it floor 2, capitalizing the first letter. All right, I'll jam you for that. And we're going to hit yes. Would you like to rename the corresponding views? Yes. Watch what happens over here. Just look over here. I hit yes. Oh my gosh, it renamed them. We come to your roof, capitalizing it again. Yes. We could even hit do not show me again, because we're always going to do that. So now what we want to do is we want to select these walls to go up to this. And let's go back to that 3D view. I clicked on the house up here. If we click on the wall, any view we are, it brings up what type of wall it is. We created our shed wall, and then what our top constraint is. All right, the top constraint is what it goes up to. Right now, it is unconnected and has a unconnected height of 20 feet. Wow, that's a pretty big shed. So let's fix that. So when it's selected, we could change it to, we're not going to change it to 8 feet. We could select it to go up to the roof and hit apply. So you can see it goes up there. Let's do this an easier way. Some style points here. So when I click and go to the right, I click and hold and I go to the right, I make a box. Anything that's within the box gets selected. If I go left to right, anything that touches the box will be selected. So watch. In the box selects everything, but here if I went like this, it would select nothing because I didn't get them completely in it. But conversely, if I go from right to left, this one just touches it, it will select everything. But any way you do it, you know, I could just click, I could hold control too and select them all at once. I select roof, and it goes up to the roof level. Now the problem is, if I go back to my elevation, is I did not change this to 8 feet. So we hit 8 feet, and the neat thing is the walls move because we set them connected to that. All right, that's a magical thing, right? And so when we go and select it to go up to that, now we have it done. All right, let's go and click 3D. Let's give it some color. We come down here to this cube, we hit realistic. We could see our plywood. It makes our stud layers all, even though it's not, it doesn't know that we have them 16 inches on center. And that's basically the first part of creating